going on, Frenchy Fab family? Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's noisy in here. It is very cold outside, so I got the heater going on. But, come here. I got a secret for you guys. I'm going to show you how you guys can get your material from looking like this to something like this. More of a polished look, more presentable, more professional look compared to a dirty look. So this is just one of the turbo manifolds that I make for our cars, our BMW M54s. As you can see, all the material and everything looks nice and shiny. When you weld and everything on it, all the rainbows and everything just pop up that much better. So when you weld on something like this, you'll still get the rainbows on your welds, but around the material, where you can see the nice coloration and everything on these, when the material is dirty, it turns into like a brownish and a hazy look. And also all the contamination and everything from that mill scale is what it's called. Ends up in your weld puddle. So instead of you getting a nice clean rainbow and everything, you still get a hazy look. So I'm going to show you guys how to polish your material and all of the equipment and everything that I've bought throughout the past couple of months to figure out what this is. So guys, here we have a couple of things that I have purchased. First things first, we'll go through the biggest one. This is a pipe polisher that I bought off Amazon. I believe this thing cost me $180. It says it on there, it's a pipe polisher. Now this tool is nice, but I feel like it's meant for basically longer pipes, like something like that, where you just put on a vise and you just go to polish the whole thing. It takes a very long time to get a polished look with this because you have to go through different types of belts. So it's just like sanding anything. So you'll start off with something really aggressive to get the mill scale and everything off. Then you'll go to another step so that way you can get rid of the scratches. You go to another one, get rid of those scratches. You know, you basically just keep polishing. So you can be there for hours trying to polish up a pipe entirely, just put on the rack. Now you can spend a couple of extra dollars and you can, when you order your material, you can already have it polished for you. So that saves time. But on scheduled pipe, it's hard to get a polished finished for it. So that's mostly like 16 gauge and stuff like that for exhaust pipes. Now for a scheduled pipe, when you go to make turbo kits and everything, you can't really, you can, just very hard to find. So that's the reason I bought this. It's very windy in here. There's like a huge windstorm or whatever going on outside. But anyways, I bought this tool. It did not do what I wanted it to do, so that was a waste of 180 bucks. So hopefully you guys are watching this and I save you 180 bucks. Don't buy that. This tool I was not happy with. The belt also, it's basically just another grinder, and it has this attachment on there where they put these wheels and it has a little spring on there. The spring I don't think is strong enough, so when you try to polish the pipe, this thing just bends way too easily. And also one of these wheels, when they drilled the holes for it, is not perfectly straight. It has like a little tilt to it, so it causes the belt to fall off, or walk off I should say, whenever the spring gets detensionized. So we're gonna put that one to the side. I'm gonna use it for you guys. I'm gonna test all these out for you so you can see what results you get. But I'm just telling you guys at the beginning, save your money, don't buy that. Next, I bought these two wheels. So these go on a bench grinder. I have an 8-inch bench grinder, so these are my 8 inches. This is basically just your regular Scotch-Brite, but it's in a wheel. And I also got the green one. The reason I bought both of these is this is the original one that I bought. I thought it was a regular Scotch-Brite. You know, you use this a lot to polish up material or sand it down. When I use this, I try to take out mill scale. It's basically too soft. So basically the Scotch-Brite was like melting itself on here and I was getting like a plastic residue. So you guys will see that when I go to polish these for you. So I was like, okay, this one's too soft. Let me get the green one. The green one's more aggressive. I can probably take the mill scale off with this and then go back to this one and polish it, since a bench grinder has two sides to it. Now I already have two wheels on there, and I'll tell you guys about those and why I have two. But that's my bench grinder. So I put the green one on one side and I tried to take off the mill scale. Same thing. This thing started just burning up. It started melting onto it. So I was like, okay, these were a waste of money. I believe these are $25 or $30 a piece. So those were also wasted. So there goes 60 bucks. There goes 180 bucks. Next, I was like, okay, maybe it's just because the bench grinder is going too fast or something that is melting. So when I had ordered the green one, I also ordered these because I found these on Amazon where it was recommended. So I bought a pack of these. I also bought a pack of the red one. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to them, so I don't have them for this video for you guys. But I bought a pack of these. I think these were also like 20 bucks. I put these on my grinder up here, and I try to just do, you know, like little pieces like this. Put them on a vise and try to come and polish and everything. The only bad thing about these is you need a variable speed grinder. If you guys just put it on a regular grinder, what happened with these is that they would just expand and they will blow apart. So I had literally chunks of these just go flying, and these things, when you're using them and you're trying to grind, it just throws the residue everywhere. So I don't remember what was the results of this, but good thing we're gonna test all of this stuff in this video. So those were also wasted. So I think they were like 20 bucks. Let's say 20 bucks. Okay, next, I got myself a regular flap wheel. Now this one is just a 90 or 40 grit. This one's really aggressive, but I don't have the ones that I bought. I bought a really fine one. I think it was like an 80 grit. So I bought an 80 grit to try to polish up some pipes. Now it got it really nice and shiny. The flappies really did do a good job. The only bad thing is inconsistent. So since it's sandpaper, and depending what grit you got, when you're trying to go back and forth on it, you can only get like a small little line at a time, right? So now when you're trying to go back onto a pipe, sometimes you'll leave spots that you missed, or you get inconsistency, so you'll literally see scratches and weird haze spots and everything on the pipe. So again, you'll see those inside the video when we go to test it out. So although the flappies did a pretty good job, they aren't the cheapest. Flap wheels like to get basically gunked up with dirt and everything, and especially all the mill scale and oil and everything that's on the pipes from when they put them inside of their dies to stretch out the pipe to give you the size that you need. All this dirt and mill scale and everything gets clogged up on the flap wheels. So these things, I started going with this new company. It's called Easy Arc. I think I got a pack of 10 or a pack of 20 or something like that for like 20 bucks, dude. It was a really good price. So I bought a bunch of those. I just keep them stacked up. So the flappies did do a pretty good job. It was just inconsistent. So if you're on a budget and you don't have a bench grinder, I'm gonna also recommend what bench grinder to get. If you don't have a bench grinder, then in the meantime, for you just starting off your fabrication or whatever you want to polish up, then I highly recommend just using a flap wheel. So you can use like an 80 grit. Don't use something aggressive like this, a 40 grit. It's all I have in the shop at the moment, so we're still gonna use it. But if you want to get a polished look, flap wheel. These things did not work. And last but not least, this right here. This is the fucking secret. Don't tell nobody. Anyways, this bad boy I've been hunting for a very long time. So when I first, let me talk to you guys so you guys feel like you're actually talking to me. So when I first started fabricating, I've tried so hard to figure out what are people doing to polish their stainless steel. Now, nobody would tell you. I commented on TikTok videos and YouTube videos of people fabricating, and nobody would reply to my comment. So at that point, I'm like, okay, it's a trade secret. Everyone's using it for some reason, but nobody wants to tell you what it is. So a few videos back I had posted, I had one of my subscribers comment. He goes, hey, since nobody was willing to tell you and you found out what it is, maybe you should help out your subscribers and everything, and for future fabricators, and be the first one to tell us what the trade secret is. I was like, you know what? It's not a bad idea. Let's do that. So when I first started fabricating and learning the trade and everything, learning how to do everything on my own, I didn't have no one to tell me what to use or what they used. It was a secret. So I invested my own money, went on Amazon, and I bought all this product and more. I just don't have it at the moment, and more, to try to figure out what it was, until I finally figured out what it was. And it's this bad boy right here. So I shit you not, it literally came just like this inside of a it was like a fucking bubble package, whatever you want to call it, envelope. and it came inside this bag, like a Chinese food takeout. So it is a Chinese product, obviously. Most of this stuff is. And this is what it looks like. So now what confused me is I've seen this in a bunch of people's videos, but it looks like a regular grinding wheel. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, how the hell can a grinding wheel get that finish? Because the grinding wheel is very hard. And not only that, when they're polishing the material, I don't see sparks. So I'm like, that can't be a grinding wheel, because a grinding wheel will leave fucking scratches like hell, and I don't see any sparks coming off. So now if you're doing aluminum or whatever, you won't get sparks, obviously. But stainless steel and titanium and steel and all that stuff, you'll get sparks. So they weren't using that wheel. What it was is this wheel. So now this wheel is very hard to find. You can find it, you just have to basically hunt for it. So I would add a link to the description, but the issue is I bought this wheel maybe a year ago or two. So it lasted me a very long time, and I've done so many projects with the wheels. I bought this about a year or two ago. So I went to my Amazon account, I went to click the link, the one that I purchased before, and it says no longer available. I'm like, shit, they don't make it anymore. So all I had to do was just keep hunting. I spent like maybe 2 hours searching on Amazon, so I finally found another link. So the reason I won't add the link is because if that link also disappears, you have to hunt for it. So what I'll do is I'll give you guys the information for this wheel. So like I said, my bench grinder is an 8-inch. So I just want to make sure I'm in footage. All right, you guys, I am in footage, so we're good. Vape break. Anyways, so again, I have an 8-inch bench grinder. So maybe you might have a 6, maybe you guys might have a 4 or whatever. I don't recommend it. The least that you want to get is an 8-inch. Reason is because the wheels are not that big and you have a lot of surface area to cover. So also I highly recommend for you to get an extension for your grinder. I'll show you why. I don't have one on mine yet, but basically what this wheel is not a regular wheel for a grinder, like a stone. This is nylon. So believe it or not, this thing is super soft. I can actually stab my finger in there, and I won't do it because I don't want to mess up a brand new wheel. I literally just got this in. This is nylon. So it's basically a bunch of little fibers. Let me see if I can zoom in on this for you guys. So it's basically a bunch of little fibers. It almost looks like if it was a stone wheel. That's why, because when I watch people's videos, I'm like, that can't be a stone wheel, but it looks exactly like it. So let me see if I can get a little bit closer for you guys. All right, camera's not liking that. Camera's not liking it. But anyways, here's also the information of the wheel. So it's an 8-inch circular circumference by 2, which is a 2-inch width, and 5P. It's also a number 320 for the grit. Now you got to be careful with this because they have another wheel that you can get fairly easily, the same exact one, but it's not a 320, it's a 180. So now what that is the aggressiveness of the nylon wheel. So the 180 I have over there in the bench grinder, which I'll show you guys what that one does compared to this. So even though with the 180 you can get a nice polished look as well, the only bad thing about the 180 is it's more aggressive. So the 180 is meant for like taking care of like if you have any burrs or sharp edges or whatever. So that's also another thing of the nylon wheel. So it's a polishing wheel, but it's also a deburring wheel. So if you have any sharp edges, like let's say you have a 90-degree elbow, let me get one for you guys. All right, you guys, I got you a nice little sample here. So this is one of my 90-degree elbows that I use here in the shop. As you guys can see, all the mill scale and everything, this is ugly. I wouldn't want to receive a manifold that wasn't prepped. So another thing is if you guys see this line in here, that's caused from the die that they use to make these elbows. Because this starts off as a straight piece, and then they put it inside of a die, and they put steel balls inside here to try to get that 90-degree form with a hydraulic press. So what happens sometimes, you get markings and everything on your material, which is fine. But if you guys listen to it, it catches, right? So it's hard to see on camera, which is why I got this pick, but you guys can hear that there's a sharp edge right there. So the 180, what I use the 180 for, and I have a 1-inch one instead of a 2-inch wide, is I like to go on there and get rid of that sharpness. So I'll go in there, and I'll show you guys on a video too. I'll go in there and I'll polish out that, and then I'll go back over to the 320 and I'll polish out the whole pipe so I can get a finish like that. So you guys can see the difference. So the 320 is gonna be your nice soft wheel. It is still pretty aggressive. It's gonna be your nice soft wheel, but it's gonna give you a nice polished look. While the 180 will still give you the polished look. The only bad thing about it is it has a higher hardness. So the only bad thing about it is when I'm going to polish my material on the 320, it's nice and soft. I can feel it absorbing. Now the 180, when I go over here, the material likes to bounce sometimes. If you don't go in there real nice and gentle, it likes to bounce because the wheel is so hard. So that's why I like the 320 for polishing, even though you can do it with the 180. Like I said, the 180 is gonna be a lot easier to find, while the 320 is gonna take you a little bit longer to hunt down. I cannot find this wheel anywhere else. The only place that I can find it is on Amazon. It comes from China. When I ordered it, it said it was supposed to take like 2 to 3 weeks to get it. I got it in about a week, so can't complain. Order this ahead of time, and I would order more than one to keep in stock because it is hard to find a 320. And I get mine by 2, so when you order these, they go by millimeters. So I got the 2-inch one. Again, it's a 8 by 2, 5P. I believe it's just, I don't know what the 5P is. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you what it is. But the 320 is the grip. I have a 180. So now what we're gonna do is I have different samples cut. Only one of them is prepped just for the intro video so I can show you guys what it's gonna look like. So I have a couple of materials here and 90-degree elbows, and we're gonna test every single one of these. I'm gonna show you what results you get out of them to show you that this is a trade secret. So let's get set up. All right, you guys, first things first, we're gonna go with the biggest one. So now again, this is just a regular grinder with the attachment on here and the wheel. So I have a 180 on this belt right now. I don't have any other ones. I don't know where they're at. So the 180 should do just enough. The only bad thing about it is it's very loud and it doesn't work that good. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but you can see how loose the belt is. The spring inside this is not that strong, and one of these wheels are at an angle. So if this belt flies off, you know why. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna change out the angle. Well, I guess you can't change the angle. I thought you could. Anyways, let's give it a shot. So our belt still seems to be in good condition. We are using the 180. I can smell it, it's getting burned a little bit, which is probably one of these wheels. But that machine works well, but it's meant for something long, like a long pipe, like I said at the beginning. Now, if I were to try to polish one of these little pieces, you know, just for a runner or something, I would have to put most of the material inside of a vise just so I can get a good grip, because I had to apply a decent amount of pressure. This thing will take me forever to polish up something like this, and it's basically pointless. So let's see the results. So it does give you a very nice result, and you saw how much time I went in there. You guys can see, gives you a nice shiny look. So there is the mill scale, and there's the polished look. I gave it a nice amount of time, so you guys don't think I'm cheating. I was there for a nice split second. So it's nice and smooth. You still have some scratches, so I'll have to go to a finer sandpaper, but it does give you a nice product. But you need a long piece like that. So I would be able to polish all this and then unvise it, move it over onto the next one, and then do the rest. And I can only get this side. So now I have to take it off the vise, flip it over, do the rest of the piece, flip it over one more, and then do the remaining piece. So that's what you get with that. So not bad, just meant for something a lot bigger. So now let's move over to those. Actually, we'll do the grinder since it's already here. So what I'll do is I'll clean up this piece with it. So let's set up our grinders. All right, you guys, again, so these are supposed to be on a variable speed grinder. I don't have a variable speed grinder. I believe my grinders go up to, I think it's 13,000 or 15,000. I think these wheels are supposed to be 12 or 13,000, so I believe my grinders are 15. Yes, my grinders are 15,000. Sorry, I was reading the nameplate off the other one. So let's give it a shot. Let me get some safety glasses because these things like to fall apart. So we got our Milwaukee's. We got our nice little safety glasses. So let's give it a shot. So these work a lot faster. We got that area nice and polished. Now it's covered in green dust and everything from what this stuff leaves. So let's get ourselves a nice little rag. Let's wipe it down so we can get a good look at what our finish looks like. All right, you can tell right now what the difference is. So we have our mill scale, we have our green flappy, and we have the nice sandpaper. So that one's all hazy, full of shit from the mill scale. This one was from the green wheel, so now it's real dark. It almost looks like it's steel, while the stainless over here from the sandpaper is nice and shiny, nice and polished. So that's raw stainless. This is burnt plastic pieces, so that's why it's a little bit darker. So let's go in a little bit. Doesn't want to focus on that shit. Let me shaky. All right, I don't think I'll be able to focus on it. There we go. So that's the results that you get with that. So it is a lot darker. It's full of burnt plastic piece, and that's why it looks like that. So it is shiny, but it looks dirty. So now you can probably get away with it, like maybe cleaning it some acetone. So let's give it a try. I've never tried that. All right, you guys, we got ourselves some fresh acetone here. Let's give it a shot. I've never tried cleaning it with acetone, so let's see if it gets rid of the plastic. It's worth a shot, right? All right. So unfortunately, it looks like the acetone won't even help. So you still have that dark look to it. So I learned this the hard way when I purchased these, and now you guys know what those are gonna give you, but we're still gonna try it out. That's your results. So now, let's go ahead and put those bad boys on the grinder, and let's see what those do. All right, you guys, so we have our red wheel on our grinder. Let's put our PPE on. So this is, again, our red Scotch-Brite wheel. We have it on the grinder. Next, actually, I don't think we'll be able to try the green one out because I don't have, this is shaved down for a reason. So let's try this one out. You already know what the green one's gonna do because you've seen what it did. So let's try the red one. So there's the results of the red one. There's the mill scale. So the red one does pretty well, but it doesn't give you that shiny look. It's still more of a brushed look. So depending on what look you're looking for, like if you want a brushed finish, then the red wheel works good. Only bad thing about it is once this thing starts to get some heat into it, it's going to start melting on there. So this is just one pipe, and I only did half of it. If I were to do multiple of these pieces, this wheel will start melting on it. So if you guys want to see what that look is, for shits and giggles, let's get it hot. Can see that haze, you know, that's it starting to melt in. So I can smell it too. Again, I'm just taking my time with the material. I'm trying to get a nice finish. That's all you want to do. It's really hard to capture on camera, but you can see it melting in. So, that's enough of that. You got more burnt plastic on the material. Hopefully you guys see what I'm seeing. These gray spots, that's all burnt plastic. It's just so shiny. There you go, there you go. Now you can see it. Just had to play with the camera a little bit. That's what you get with the red wheel. Now this is when we first started, real nice and shiny. There's no heat inside the material just yet. But we all know when you polish something, you get heat. So that's what you end up getting. Now you don't see it when you're like this, because it's all nice and shiny, because the lighting, trust me, it's there. So that's the red nylon. Again, wasted money. So now, let's try out these bad boys and see what it is. So let me put my 180 grip back on, and let's get back to it. Alright, you guys, so now we have our nylon wheels back on. So this wheel is the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing as this one. It's just worn out. Remember, I bought this thing about 2 years ago, roughly. So it is a lot less of a lifespan on it. Let me turn this bad boy so you guys can see the difference. I use this thing a lot. So many turbo kits, so many exhaust pipes, intercooler piping as well has been going through this wheel, and it still looks fairly clean. There's still some life left into it. The only thing is that my motor is a lot bigger than this, so whenever I have long runs, it gets hit right here. So I find myself coming at an angle sometimes, which I can only use this much surface area to polish now, so which is why I bought another one. So now this one sticks out past the motor, so I'll be able to do my nice long runs again. So I have to order another one of these, keep them in inventory. But just so you guys know, it's the exact same wheel. So now if you guys notice also, the sticker, I had taken it off. So that way nobody on my YouTube channel knows what I'm using. But I have a change of heart, and my subscriber has convinced me to let you guys know what I use. So that's originally what's supposed to be on there. Again, that is the part, 320. 180. So I'll show you guys what the 180 does. So now also, if you guys notice, these have really nice sharp edges. You want to get rid of those. So the way to get rid of those is when you put this on your grinder for the first time, get yourself like some material or something sharp basically. And when you're grinding, you want to stick it right on that edge. Just like that. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna shave off that sharp edge. So now this stuff is abrasive, so you can't have it in the same spot for a very long time, because all it's gonna do is shave away. So you wanna do is just keep rotating your material. And you're gonna get that nice round edge. You're gonna find that with a nice round edge, it's so much easier to polish the material. When you have a sharp edge like that, your material wants to bounce. So sometimes when you also get on the edge, let's see, you see that air gap down there? You're not using all of the surface area of the 2-inch. So when you round off those edges, just trust me, it's so much better. Same thing with my 180. Let me get you guys back in footage. Same thing with the 180. The 180 is even more aggressive, so you have to find something really sharp for that one. So just put on the edge for a few seconds. Here, I'll show you guys. Put on the edge just like that, and just round it out. Well, let's see what that looks like. I like to do it every now and then, because when you start shaving like this, it does end up getting flat again, and you lose your roundness. So that we have our nice round edge. You guys can see it in footage. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot easier to polish like that. Same thing over here. So now, like I said, remember, it does hit my wheel, so I can't really use this area anymore, which is why it's a nice sharp edge, but this one makes it rounded, so I find myself doing this a lot. That's why I got the new wheel. So anyways, let's get to it. So now, let's get our PPE. Alright, you guys, got our PPE on, and I'm going to use my 90-degree elbow. So if you guys remember, we had that piece right here where the material gets caught. So that's what the 180 is for. I can use the 320. It's just going to wear it down a lot more, because I have to be there a lot longer with this one in order to get that shape down. So I purchased the 180 for stuff like this. I don't use this wheel as much because it only takes a few seconds to get rid of that, so it's beautiful for it. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what that is going to end up looking like. Barely there anymore. So you still have a line, remember, but that's now concave instead of convex. So what that means is that hole is no longer, you can't really feel it, that line is now inside the material, it's just grooved in. Another test. Now it glides like butter. Now it can't get caught. You can hear the scratches, so you don't think I'm going soft. I'm digging on there. You can see the scratches. I'm digging on there, so she just glides right over now. So perfect. So now, let's just polish it up with the 180 and let's see what happens. It's still gonna come out really good. I'll tell you that right now. There we have our nice shiny material, but as you can see, it's more of an aggressive look, so you can see like fine scratches, the markings and everything. So it'll still get the job done, still get it nice and shiny, just not what I'm looking for exactly. So that's why I only use this one to deburr sharp edges and stuff like that. This is the one that we use for polish. So now let me get this in position so that I can actually use it properly and show you guys the real bad boy. Now remember, fuckers is top secret, so let's get it. As you guys can hear, this one's a lot quieter. It's not as aggressive. How shiny material looks. So now, I want to test something with you guys. So if you guys remember this pipe right here, this is the one that was polished by the red nylon. Let's see if we can get this cleaned up with this bad boy. That's what I'm talking about. All that burnt plastic is gone. I'll try to turn a little bit more for you guys. So now, with your finished product, go clean it up with some acetone, prep it up really good, and she's ready to weld. You have a nice shiny pipe for your new turbo manifolds, your exhaust pipes, your intercooler piping, whatever you're doing. These wheels are a fucking beast. Good thing, guys, I remember I told you guys I was going to tell you about bench grinders. So I have Jet products. This one's just painted. I don't remember what this one is, but this is an 8-inch bench grinder, 1 horsepower. So you want to get the higher horsepower as possible. Harbor Freight sells their new Bauer one, which is like 3/4 of horsepower or something like that. But it only pulls like 0.5 amps or some shit. That doesn't mean it's 3/4 horsepower. That's false advertising. You want a nice, strong motor. The reason is, when you go to try to apply pressure to one of these pipes, you're gonna bog out your motor. And the last thing that you want, let me turn off this heater. The last thing that you want, guys, is for your motor to bog out while you're trying to polish piping. The reason is because you don't have that consistent speed, so you're gonna have inconsistent polishing. So now another good thing about these nylon wheels as well is you can also polish aluminum with it. So this aluminum I purchased just like this. They come polished. We all know the cheap eBay kits that you can get. Clean up the camera. We all know the cheap eBay intercooler piping kits that you can get for like $100, $120. They all come polished. The only bad thing is when you're actually working with them, they scratch up. So once they scratch up, you can repolish it, or you can give it a brushed look as well. Those nylon wheels, stay away from that. They melt and they put garbage inside of your material. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps you guys out. If you guys remember, I also made the video to help you guys out with our purge plugs. That video shot up and got a lot of love from you guys. It saved you guys some money. Those purge plugs, if you guys didn't watch my video, you can watch it. It's called DIY purge plugs, I believe, on my YouTube channel. Those things will save you a lot of money, because for purge plugs from certain companies could cost you like $500, while with the DIY ones, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. So hopefully this saves you guys money. Hopefully it helps you guys improve your fabrication as well, give you guys nicer products, make some shiny downpipes, make some shiny turbo kits, intercooler pipes, whatever. You could even use them for knives. But hopefully it helps you guys. I would really highly appreciate it if you guys can give me a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Really want this video to get out to others and help others. You know, we're all looking to improve and get better at what we're doing. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help. Some are not willing to help, some are. So let's see what we're gonna come up with next. I had one of my subscribers ask me to do my 6-month update review on my Everlast welders. I do have the Power TIG 325 EXT, and I also have the Cyclone 212. So I'm either gonna be doing an updated video on my welder, or I'm also gonna be doing my YouTube videos on how do I make my carbon fiber headlight deletes for the E90. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. If you guys want more videos to help you guys with fabrication, like how to create fixtures or whatever the case may be that you guys want to learn, comment down below and I'll get you guys hooked up. Other than that, Frenchy Fab family, I appreciate you guys and we'll see you guys on the next one.